Hi, do you work with clients that have chronic neck tension? How about back tension? How about hip tightness or discomfort? Hey there, this is Dr. Evan Osar, developer of the Integrative Movement System. Happy Tuesday, hope your week has started out well. Janice and I just got back from DCA Fitness Conference and I was presenting at Ideal World a few weeks before that. One of the things that we share the most is the importance of using a system. And I love the quote by James Clear. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And one of the things that we share during our presentations, and we share right here in our posts as well, is the importance of using a systematic process when you're working with your clients. For example, we were just evaluating a client at this past weekend's event. She had beautiful woman. She had a fitness professional for quite a few years. She had limited rotation side to side, chronic neck tension. She was seeing a chiropractor. She'd been doing her Pilates training and all the things that she knew how to do, but just still had this chronic neck tension. So we went through our systematic process of the integrative movement system. First, we assess our client. Well, first, even before we assessed our clients, we took our client's history. And in her history, she had had abdominal surgery. She had had breast augmentation. So those two key things tell us that number one, that she's probably going to have issues with her movement strategy of her neck and or shoulders and or rib cage. Anytime you've had surgery to the abdominal, chest, rib cage, and or back region, your body will do three things. Number one, it will tend to protect itself against the discomfort that people feel post-surgical. It may create and will create scar tissue on different and varying levels for different individuals, but it'll create scar tissue and it'll create compensatory patterns. Again, not everyone will respond the same to surgery, but this is a very common sequela that happens after surgery. So one of the things when we looked at this woman is we want to make sure, or I should say evaluate for her movement strategy. So the first thing we do when we do our assessments, after we look at her posture, just her standing static posture, is just look and evaluate her range of motion. So we looked at cervical rotation, we looked at shoulder flexion. Her shoulder flexion was really quite good, which is it's not very common finding when you have clients that have had abdominal surgery, chest surgery, and or any kind of surgery to the trunk and or spine. However, she had very limited in all ranges of motion, cervical range of motion. So it's limited rotation, limited flexion extension, as well as limited side bending. And again, remember, she had seen a chiropractor and she was seeing a chiropractor on a regular basis. And he basically was just adjusting her neck and doing a couple trigger points, and it wasn't relieving her neck issues. One of the things that we address, so the second part of the integrated movement system is addressing what you find. So the second piece of the component, or the second piece of the system, I should say, the second thing we looked at or addressed was what were the findings that we found? What were the findings that we found? what did we find, and how do we best address those findings? So limited shoulder range of motion, I should say limited cervical range of motion, without limitations in shoulder. I'm like, what's driving this chronic neck tension? So we think about the muscles that attach from the neck down to the rib cage. Remember, she had breast augmentation. Didn't change her shoulder range of motion, but it definitely changed how she was breathing. Very shallow breather, very good belly breather, but very shallow breather through her chest and her upper rib cage. And that's one of the key findings that we find with clients that have chronic neck issues. We changed her breathing pattern. We changed her neck strategy because that's the third step, is how do you address these findings? So we addressed her. Have you had lots of coffee this morning? Yes, I have, Jackie Bachmeyer. Thank you. I hope you get home safely today. My good friend, Jackie Bachmeyer from Evolution Fitness and Wellness in Houston, Texas. So she needed to breathe more through her upper rib cage and ribs. So we taught her, gave her a strategy of how to breathe into her upper rib cage and ribs. We taught her how to breathe without using her neck so much, without using so much abdominal breathing. We taught her a strategy of actually how to activate her shoulders against a little resistance and still continue to breathe, how to move her shoulders and still be able to breathe. We rechecked her range of motion and she was astonished by how different her range of motion in her neck was. And she's like, oh my goodness, there's so much less neck tension. Now that's the first step of the process. Now we need to help her then integrate this into her functional movement patterns. And that's the work that needs to happen. So the integrated movement system allowed us to, number one, understand what her history was telling us. Number two, give us the idea, I should say, give us the strategy of how to assess her, but more importantly, then develop a strategy from our assessments and based upon her history and her goals, which was to get back to heavy lifting. She loves heavy lifting, even though she does Pilates, and she's able to do Pilates in a relatively safe and effective manner. She wanted to get back to heavy lifting. So this will at least help her start to improve her neck range of motion, which will start to give her some relief of some of her chronic tightness and discomfort. Now we have to teach her a strategy to use this in her functional movement patterns. That's the next step of the process. This is exactly what we teach in the Integrative Movement System Approach Foundational Training. So in this 2-day course with a bit of online work, we're going to teach you how to use a systematic process to look at your clients, especially those clients that you work with that have chronic tension, discomfort, mechanical causes of discomfort, like impingement syndrome of the shoulder, like chronic impingement of the hip, like arthritic changes of the spine that is creating mechanical causes of low back pain. We're going to teach you the assessments to do. We're going to teach you what the assessments are telling you, and then how to develop a corrective exercise strategy around your assessment, the results of your assessments. And then we're going to teach you how to take that information and the results of your corrective exercises and integrate that into the fundamental movement patterns. Because it's not about trying to create perfection. It's not about trying to make people perfect. It's not about making people the ideal of what we think they should be. We're just helping people move closer to safely and successfully achieving their health and fitness goals. That's what the Integrative Movement System is about. This is exactly what we're going to share with you in this 2-day course with a little bit of online work. I put the information below this video. You can check it out on Integrative Movement Institute or Discover IMI for more information. If you need more information, reach out to us at, I don't know what the email is right now, but we'll put it in the link below this video, and we look forward to seeing you at the training. And again, we only have spots, or we only have enough space for 10 individuals, because that's all our office can hold. So we're gonna make this a small, intimate workshop, so that way you take home the information that you need, and you can plug this information right into the approach that you currently use with success, so that way you have better results with your clients, especially those chronic clients that struggle even with traditional type of approaches, and that you attract more individuals that need, want, and will pay you for your expertise. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're happy to help you. Stephen Schmoll, great to see you. Pete Rizzle, my boyfriend back home. Great to see you guys. Thanks for being on. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for allowing us to share this information with you, as well as allowing us to be part of your day. Make it a great day. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We look forward to seeing you in Chicago in September. Take care. This is Dr. Evan Osar with Integrative Movement Institute. Take care.